Welcome to Tarragona, or how the ancient Romans called it, Tarraco. Located just 90 kilometers south of Barcelona, this seaside Catalan city is home to the largest ancient Roman heritage site in Spain, a place where Roman conquest of Iberian Peninsula began over 200 years before Christ. While not as famous, nor packed with tourists as nearby Barcelona, Tarragona is worth a trip and a fascinating hike around ancient Roman ruins and architectural marvels. From magnificent sea-facing Roman amphitheater where gladiators once fought, to the majestic cathedral of Tarragona. The historic district is surrounded by the Roman fortifications expanded over the centuries, turning Tarragona into a fortified city ready to defend itself from any invasion. Here's a quick tour of the historic Tarragona, built on top of the Roman provincial capital with over 2,200 years of history. The Roman city wall was probably constructed on top of the more ancient wall, characteristic of the Iberian stonemason. The conquest of the Iberian Peninsula by the Romans took over 200 years. Today, Tarragona offers a range of ancient Roman architectural sites, including 2,000 years old Roman circus and its towers, and the ruins of First Christian Basilica inside its arena. Tarraco became the largest Roman settlement and a provincial capital of the Iberia ruled by Roman emperors. In 476 AD, following the collapse of Roman defenses, Tarraco was occupied by the Visigoth army. Walking through its historic center feels like a never-ending maze of narrow streets, built over centuries with diverse architectural styles. With many Roman landmarks, one can easily spend all afternoon wandering around and discovering the history of Roman Iberia. The Plaza del Forum in Tarragona is one of the most important squares in the city's old town, located within the archaeological complex of Tarraco UNESCO World Heritage Site. Historically, this square corresponds to the provincial forum of Tarraco, the political, religious, and social center during Roman times. Today, the square is a lively place full of terraces, bars, restaurants, and local life. But you can still see archaeological remains that remind visitors of its Roman past. The Roman praetorium is an ancient Roman military fortress, part of the larger provincial forum complex of Tarraco. It was a Roman tower that likely housed the military headquarters and administrative offices, possibly even the residence of the Roman governor. The tower was connected by underground passages to the Roman circus, where chariot races were held. You can actually explore these tunnels today by visiting the museum. In medieval times, the structure was repurposed into a royal castle. And here it is, the Cathedral of Tarragona, is one of the most important and stunning monuments in the city, located at the highest point of the old Roman city, right where the Roman temple to Emperor Augustus once stood. The cathedral is mainly Gothic, but has Romanesque elements too, because construction started in the 12th century and continued into the 14th century. You can clearly see the transition between styles. The cathedral complex includes a small but rich museum displaying medieval religious art, liturgical objects, and archaeological finds. Tarragona's fortifications are among the oldest and best preserved in Spain. Their story begins over 2,000 years ago, when this city was a thriving jewel of the Roman Empire. But Tarragona's fortifications are not just Roman. Over time, Visigoths, Moors, and Christian kings all left their marks, rebuilding, reinforcing, reimagining the walls for their own wars and glory. Today, you can walk along parts of these ancient defenses surrounding the historic center of Tarraco. With every step, you follow the history of Roman soldiers, medieval knights, and everyday residents who once looked to these walls for protection against invaders. Inside the fortifications, you can visit the exhibition about the history of Tarragona and its military heritage. Tarraco was founded in the 3rd century before Christ as a Roman military base during the Punic Wars. It quickly grew into the capital of the Roman province of Hispania, one of the empire's most important outposts in the Iberian Peninsula. The Roman walls date back to the 2nd century before Christ. Originally, they stretched for over 4 kilometers. Today you can hike about 1.1 kilometers along the city walls. Some of the towers, like the Torre del Praetorium, were later reused in medieval times as part of the king's castle. The fortification walls were further modernized in the 16th and 17th centuries with bastions to resist cannon fire during the wars with Kingdom of France. The Roman sculptures are the reminder of the ancient heritage that contemporary Tarragona was built on. Tarragona has some of the best preserved Roman ruins outside Italy. Its amphitheater, capable of holding 12,000 spectators, was used for gladiator games and public executions. Today, you can still watch some local gladiator fights, though probably without any blood spill. In 2000, the archaeological ensemble of Tarraco was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing its unique role as a living model of Roman city planning. It's said that at night, shadows of gladiators and martyrs can still be seen in the ruins of Tarragona's amphitheater. During Roman times, Christian prisoners were executed here, and some locals believe their spirits linger.
The architectural reform proved inadequate, and the stages of progressive deterioration began, leading to the collapse of parts of the remaining church. Although in 1924,
Beneath modern Tarragona lies a labyrinth of Roman structures, tunnels, walls, cisterns, and even secret chambers. These underground remains were not designed as catacombs like in Rome, but they survive because centuries of rebuilding just stacked the city higher and higher. The beaches around Tarragona are honestly some of the most beautiful on the local Golden Coast. Hope you enjoyed discovering the Roman Tarragona. The best way to get here is either by train from Barcelona Sants station or by car, just an hour or so drive from Barcelona. If you want some more recommendations or practical tips about making the most of your visit to Tarragona, please add those in comments below. And see you soon on a next hiking adventure.